Today's hashtag Daily Debate question for at MMA Junkie Radio with TJ Dillashaw relinquishing the bantamweight title and Marlon Moraes, the clear #1 contender. Who should face Moraes for the vacant title? Here are the choices: Henry Cejudo, Pedro Munoz, Aljamain Sterling, and other. If you choose other, please comment.
All right. If you're going to tell me that 125 is going to completely go away, Henry Cejudo's the guy. Make that happen. But if it's going to stick around, then I think you got to give it to Pedro Munoz. I love me some Aljamain Sterling, and I think he's turned it around, but it still feels like it just happened, you know?
Him and Moraes?
Yeah. So, Pedro Munoz. And then Aljamain Sterling has that quarter right on the video game, and he says, "I got next, dog." And they tell him, that guy's next.
All right. I like that you said that if 25 is going away, Cejudo, that makes a lot of sense. That would make Cejudo a bantamweight, and everything pointed to a Dillashaw-Cejudo rematch except at bantamweight, not at flyweight because of the controversy regarding the first fight. As of right now, let me give you some details. Davison Figueiredo and Jose Formiga have a highly profile fight at 125 pounds. And Joseph Benavidez just re-upped at 125 pounds. That tells me the UFC is kind of keeping that division lukewarm a little bit and hasn't decided to do away with it. And part of it had to be probably because maybe Dillashaw was supposed to get rid of it, and he didn't. Cejudo stuck around, and I think they're seeing Cejudo is out there promoting himself, and love him or hate him, people are talking about him. Plus, he's an Olympian, the gold medal. You know what I mean?
He's doing it right.
He's the only UFC champion to have also won a gold medal. So that, I believe, is something they can build around. He knows Spanish, and like I say, like him or hate him, you don't have to like him, but if you're paying to watch him, then who knows? I mean, hell, ESPN just re-upped with the UFC 2.5 months into their 5-year partnership, and I wonder if some of it had to do with ESPN +1.
Oh yeah,
and all that. Maybe the top guy over there said, "Man, I love me some Cejudo. Let's re-up with these guys," you know. And they added 2 more years. But all that said, I think it needs to be Sterling.
But it just happened.
It did. But so did Dillashaw and Cejudo, and that had the same type of an ending. Someone got iced, and yet people were looking at a possibility of rematching those two fighters.
There's title involved, different weight class.
You're right. Sterling has been pretty stellar, though, since then. And I think he's turned a corner, not only just the Sterling that met Marlon Moraes and lost to Marlon Moraes, but the Sterling that had been slowly climbing throughout his UFC career. I think that loss, he just wound up turning a corner, and he's actually looked really, really good. He's got the gold chain going. He's put in his time. He's, he's marketing himself. So I think that should be the one, man.
If it happened, I wouldn't hate it. But I just don't understand if Pedro Munoz would say, "Yeah, but you just lost. Let me do it." I wouldn't know what to tell him. I'd have to say, "Yeah, I think you're right. All right, we'll do it." But I hear what you're saying. He has turned a corner. He has looked great. It would be a great fight. There's no way it's not going to be a good fight.
What if I told you, hey, there's 2 UFC fighters signing autographs around the corner. Let's go over there and let's get in line and get their autographs, right? Okay. And there's one super long line, and there's one not that long. And then we find out it's Sterling and Munoz. Who would you say is signing away in front of these lines? Who's signing in front of the long line?
Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, see, I mean, there's something to the marketability and the sellability of the next fight. Munoz is coming around. He's got to take the longer road because he's a very nice guy. He's very respectful. He bows to his opponent. He doesn't really cuss up a storm or anything like that. And sometimes those gangsters like Sterling, myself, Chael Sonnen, and all, we do things differently.
All right. If I were to tell you,
and you should know better because you come from the mean streets of Santa Ana, California, just like I do.
Don't question my credibility. If I were to tell you, look at the last 2 highlights from each guy, which one would pop more? You're looking at a former champion in Cody Garbrandt.
That was huge.
Slapped.
Yeah, that was huge.
I can promote that.
Yeah.
But you're right. Autograph signing tables, yeah, it's probably going to Sterling.
All right, well, we'll leave it there. But I guess the one thing we can agree on is what is the future of 25? Because if there isn't one, I think we were both maybe pivoting to Cejudo. Hey, this is how it broke down here with the votes that came in. Henry Cejudo at 43%, number 1. Aljamain Sterling at number 2 with 31%. Third percent is Pedro Munoz at 22%. And other came in at 4%. So thank you to Junkie Nation, the readers of the site, and the listeners of the show for contributing. All right, we're going to take another break. If you notice, our break structure is a little bit different, but we